Please, Sir Knight, you must help me. People are after me. I have no idea who they are or what they want, but please, help me. If you don't, I'll be dead. I know it. Goodness, I've never seen dead bodies before, much less ones killed in such a way. Oh, I'm fine. I just have a cut on my arm, but that's hardly a problem. I've gotten cuts worse than this one. I'm mostly just shaken, really. I'll be fine in a moment. I'm certain of that. I should probably go ahead and get out of your way. You likely have somewhere to be, and I certainly don't want to linger around to see if my attackers have friends. Oh. You wish to escort me home? I hope you don't feel obliged to. I would hate to keep you and interrupt your day. Charmer. If you're just going to worry over me, then it's only logical that you go ahead and escort me home. For your own comfort, of course. Though, I can't lie. I was more than just a little scared to walk home on my own. Could you help me up onto your horse? This is a bit embarrassing to admit, but I have little experience with horses other than feeding them treats or petting them. I doubt I could lift myself up onto the saddle, especially in my current attire. Thank you. Oh, in the midst of everything, I forgot to ask the name of my savior. May I have your name? Wait a minute. I know you. We used to play together as children. We'd roam around my father's land and pretend we were adventurers looking for the ruins of the First Kingdom. You would wave around a wooden sword that was much too big for you, and I would pack potions and pretend I had magical powers. Yes, it's me, Novella. Though nowadays most people call me Lady Gaspari, but that is much too formal for a friend to use, so don't mind it. I haven't seen you since you left to become a knight. I assume you were successful in your endeavor. You wear the armor well. Well, thank you, but I doubt I look the best after running for my life in a torn gown. Wish your first impression of me after years and years wasn't something like this, but at least you were here to save me. I am aware it doesn't matter. It's just unfortunate what happened to the gown. It was quite beautiful before it was turned into this. Had it made by this tailor that's the talk of the town, and rightfully so. I suppose I'll have to visit her again to see if this can even be salvaged. If not, then I'll just commission another one. Usually I wouldn't care quite this much, but it was my favorite. That is why I was wearing it today, after all. I was attending a meeting at the Castello. Can't wear anything less than the best when one speaks with Grand Duke Sanson. That is part of my job. While the ruling houses here don't have quite the same power as those in our sister country, Drachenfrey, we still have a decent amount of sway politically. My father sent me in his stead. That way I can prepare for the inevitable future, where I have to attend to all Gaspari matters. No, I'm not too nervous about it. It is what I've been raised to do, after all. A childhood filled with learning family trees, political ties, trade routes, and proper decorum. I believe I am more than ready to fill the role. Oh, come now. You know how it feels. You were always so confident that you would become a knight when we were children. And now that you have spent many years training, surely you must feel confident in your capabilities. See? It's all the same in the end. Oh. How did I get into that situation? Honestly, I'm not completely sure. If I had to guess, I would say I accidentally heard something I wasn't supposed to hear. No, not something silly and personal. I know how ridiculous this sounds, but I think I heard discussion of a conspiracy. I'm not sure what it was about specifically, since everything happened so abruptly, but I'm certain that they were up to something. They were talking about the Davide family, and they knew things that no one else does. Oh, that's right. You've been gone, so you haven't heard. Do you even remember the Davide family? They were around the same social standing as your family, I believe. They had children around our age. Perhaps you've spoken to one of them before. Good. You do remember. About a few months ago, tragedy befell them. In the middle of the night, all of them were assassinated. From other accounts, I heard it was a very gruesome affair. There were no survivors. An entire house wiped out in the middle of the night. For a while, that was all that was on everyone's mind. How could it not be? From the public's perspective, there could hardly be a reason to do such a horrible thing. I mean, politically speaking, the Davide family never had too much influence upon things. And it isn't like they have soldiers under their control. So why would anyone target them over a house like mine? But those servants I overheard, they said there was an ongoing problem. Apparently, when it was time to collect the bodies, one was missing. The youngest of the family. Either someone was foolish and managed to misplace a body, or the youngest was never killed. Do you think that could be possible? Or am I just going mad? The only reasons I could think of them having issue with the youngest being alive is that they wanted to completely eliminate the power of the house, or they want to take it for themselves. In both situations, if the youngest returns, all of their plans will crumble. They have to be hunting them down, trying to silence them. Gods. Stelios is a land of peace. Something like this is far from the norm. I mean, I can't just run to the Castello with wild claims that some sort of conspiracy is occurring in the capital. Everyone would simply think I'm insane. And truthfully, I wouldn't blame them. The only answer, then, is investigation. I appreciate your concern for me, but I must. You know how I've always been. I can't sit back idly while there's things to be done. Especially when these things seem to be a single move on a chessboard. All I mean is that whomever is doing this has to have a reason for doing it. Getting rid of the Davide family is just their first move. In a matter of time, there will be another one. And another one. Until they end up with a checkmate. I just don't know what their intentions are in the end. Truthfully, I'm not sure what my next move should be. It should be more than apparent that I don't uncover conspiracies on a regular basis. But if I were to ask around anywhere, then I would approach those that knew the family better. Or perhaps try to track down those linked to the crime. Those servants knew way too much for their own good. What? You want to go with me? You don't have to do such a thing. Well, yes. It's very possible I could anger these people by investigating, but I'm sure I can arrange something for myself. My father always has guards I can take with me if I so choose. If you were so determined, then how can I refuse you? I would be delighted to have your protection if you don't mind providing it. It can be like old times, where we go on fantastical adventures. Except this venture in particular is filled with true danger, and not creatures of the imaginary sort. Home already. Well, I hope you have a wonderful time seeing your family again. I am positive they will be delighted to see you've returned. Feel free to drop by any time you like. I'll always be happy to have you. Oh, and thank you again for saving me.